and looks back in the direction that Orphan just climbed the wall. And you see him start to slowly stand up and reach over for his walking stick.
Alright.
And then the hawk is starting to circle back around, so you lose him out of his field of vision. Unless you order him to keep an eye.
Oh yeah, I have the hawk watching.
Watching him like a hawk.
Yeah, he's literally watching him like a hawk. Like a hawk, because he's not actually a hawk, he is a golden dragon.
Right.
Right.
Now, not a gold dragon, a fairy dragon. We're talking a little gold, like, dragon with butterfly wings.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not like a miniature gold dragon.
Wait a second here. I was promised a miniature golden dragon.
No, you were promised a fairy dragon.
That's not Mary Sue Lake. I'm not a fairy.
Yeah, you are. You're an elf.
I'm Fey. And I'm only half Fey at best.
Fabulous.
Eldove, your fairy dragon watches the groundskeeper turn the ground, and as soon as he turns this corner, he's going to see Orphan marching up this wall.
Okay,
Unless something intervenes right now.
I have the hawk make a piercing cry relatively close to the groundskeeper.
You mean the fairy dragon, right?
Yeah, the fairy dragon. Oh, wait, shit, it's a fairy dragon. Okay, I don't have it do that, because that's ridiculous.
We wouldn't want that now, would we?
I'll just cast a minor illusion.
Okay.
And I'll make a sound of the gate opening over by the gate.
Okay. And so that sound happens, and the groundskeeper kind of stops in his tracks. And then you see him double back for the room. But what's interesting is he doesn't use his walking stick to keep balance. He kind of breaks into a jog. And it doesn't look like he has any difficulty walking at all.
Well,
and then he disappears inside his door, which is adjoined to the main church. Orphan, you run up the side of this wall and get up to the bell tower. And before you know it, you are up at the bell tower. And you've got this large brass bell hanging there.
Okay.
And then you have a trap door underneath it.
Okay. So I assume that's probably going to be the way inside the church. So
that would be a good assumption.
I'll lift up the trap door and take a look. Locked? Okay.
Latched from the inside.
Dang it. If only
Only had someone to pick locks.
Right.
I have the fairy dragon fly over to shit, I can't even remember your name.
It's
Orphan.
okay.
I have the fairy dragon
one.
fly over to Orphan, and I'm going to have it cast Minor Illusion, as if it was me.
Okay.
And I'm going to have it say in like a quiet whisper in my voice, the groundskeeper isn't what he appears to be, and I saw him run into his own room.
Alright.
So that information is relayed to Orphan.
So you can hear and see things through the eyes of the fairy dragon, right?
Yeah.
So I can talk to you as if this was you.
Right.
Okay. I say the hatch here is locked. I could probably break it, but that would cause quite a bit of noise.
I tell him, I'm sorry, I don't know knock. If you could find a I'm gonna have my hawk look into the keyhole.
No, there's no keyhole. It's a latch on the other side of it.
Oh, it's a latch?
Yeah, it's a latch from the inside.
But
So there's not a keyhole.
I'll ask him if he can use the fairy dragon to fly past the windows, see if there are any open windows on the second floor.
All right, I'll go check.
Okay, the fairy dragon, you send him back out the bell tower and start circling around counterclockwise around the church, and all of the windows on the second floor are stained glass, and none of them are open. But as you're coming back around for the front of the gate, you see the groundskeeper standing there holding a heavy crossbow. And he's looking around very suspiciously, and he looks up and sees your fairy dragon and takes aim.
I dispel the fairy dragon.
How many hit points is that? Probably only one.
It has, one, but I dispel it.
You dispel it? Roll initiative.
Yeah.
You gotta beat a 21.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to cast a new fairy dragon.
You will. I rolled a nat 20. I rolled bad on the hit roll, but I rolled a nat 20 on initiative.
Wait, what's the hit roll?
What's that?
It's got to beat a 13.
Roll the initiative. We'll find out. We'll leave that a secret until
18.
18. So the fairy dragon circles around, and you see this old maimed man holding this heavy crossbow, and he's looking around, and he sees the dragon, and he immediately whips up and looses a bolt with a lot of speed and precision. Now the bolt doesn't hit. The bolt goes wide of the fairy dragon. You see him go to start to reload. So now you have the opportunity to dispel it if you want.
How far away is the bell tower?
I mean, your fairy dragon has fly speed of probably 60. You could swoop back around and be there this turn.
Alright, I am going to cast a touch range spell as if I am next there, and I'm going to touch myself and make my fairy dragon invisible.
Wait, what's going on here? How's this happening?
My fairy dragon can cast spells, like specifically things that are within a range of touch.
Right.
And it's going to cast invisibility on itself.
Gotcha. Let's go ahead and expend the spell slot. And that invisibility lasts until it takes it attacks or takes some other kind of overt action, yes?
No, it's greater invisibility. It lasts for a minute.
And nothing can break it, yes?
Nothing can break it.
Gotcha. So the dragon blinks out of existence, and you see, you see him. You're still there. You see the shock of it. He stops reloading the crossbow for a minute, and he looks, and you see this suspicion on his face, like he knows that thing is still there. And he finishes reloading his crossbow, but now he doesn't know where to shoot. And he continues around where the gate is in the front of the church, back towards the back of the church where Orphan ran up the wall, and he's moving that direction.
Let me find the Metal Gear music on the...
As far as I know, you're still standing on the outside of the 7-foot fence on the back entrance.
Let me know if he ever starts getting close to actually finding me.
He
then
couldn't unless he exited the gate, which he hasn't. You have full cover behind this fence. You can't. It's a stone fence, 7 foot tall. They can't. Unless he can see through stone, which he might be able to. This is a first edition module. What the fuck magic items does this guy have? Who knows?
I send the fairy dragon into Orphan.
Okay. Now, Orphan, your position up on the bell tower, as long as you're not standing over at the edge looking down, you would have full cover up here. It would be difficult to see you from the ground of the church. Mm-hmm. But if you try to break into this trapdoor, it would make noise, but you're not sure how loud it would be around the grounds.
Yeah, I'm kind of examining my options here right now.
Fairy dragon pops in and he says, the groundskeeper took a shot at me. If you need to get out of here, I can cast invisibility on you.
I'll nod and say I'll let you know if that's needed.
So what does Orphan do up there?
Give me a second. I'm still trying to figure out my options here.
Okay. Fairy Dragon's keeping an eye on the groundskeeper?
Yeah.
He does a sweep back around the back of the church, and you see his eyes snap to the spot where Orphan landed from the wall. And he looks at the ground there very intently. And you can see he's starting to track it. Like, he knows somebody has been here, but he's looking around for them.
What? Footprints?
If it looks like he's going to start, noticing me, I'm going to just cast greater invisibility on myself.
The only way he can notice you, because he's pretty close to where you are, but he's on the other side of the wall. So unless you make a lot of noise, he won't.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that if he starts, climbing the wall or some shit, I'm not going to just let him see me.
He goes to the solid wall of the church where Orphan ran up to the bell tower, and he looks up the length of the wall, and there's a stained glass window up there, probably of a fish or something dumb, because Osprey, what a stupid god. But he loses interest in it quickly, and he starts to head off in the direction of the barn.
Alright.
Orphan.
Alright. I'm gonna ask... Yeah, I'm gonna ask Eldove for that invisibility, if he can spare it.
Alright. The fairy dragon will notice him, like, waving his arms or whatever, and fly up there,
Okay.
hear his message, and cast invisibility on them both.
And
Okay.
now you have... That's how long?
1 minute.
1 minute
So the
of
first
greater
thing
invisibility.
So as soon as I'm invisible,
Okay.
I'm gonna ring this bell. I ring the bell.
Okay, and you start pulling on the bell. And, I mean, you hear it echo all through the town. And with the fairy dragon keeping an eye out on the groundskeeper, I mean, the groundskeeper notices it right away and starts dashing towards the entrance to his little shack on the side of the building. What do you do after you ring the bell?
I'm going to get up on the ledge of the bell tower,
Okay.
the closest one to the wall where he came from. I'm
Okay.
just gonna stand there and watch.
And probably about 30 or 40 seconds pass before you hear commotion, like you hear somebody climbing up the ladder to the bell tower. And then you hear the latch get undone, and the trapdoor opens up, and one of the young acolytes from the church, who has been rudely awakened, pulls himself up, and you've got seconds on your invisibility left.
Eldove recast invisibility.
At the sound of the bell, I assume the worst has happened and the dude has finally died. So I start making my way to the church.
Oh boy.
Okay. You're going to arrive there in several minutes, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
I wanted to get that out there.
Gotcha.
All right.
Why else would they ring the bell in the middle of the night? That's crazy.
How many more times can you cast Greater Invisibility? Because it's worn off on the Fairy Dragon at this point.
I just recast it, by the way. And I'm at 0 out of 3, but I can burn a bunch of spells, so probably about 2 or 3 more times.
Okay, and when you're casting it, you're granting that invisibility to both the dragon and to Orphan, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Fairy Dragon circles back around and re-ups invisibility, and this acolyte pulls himself up, and, like, at this point, the bell is no longer ringing, but he's, like, investigating what's going on. Like, he's looking around, and he's starting to move towards you, Orphan. He doesn't see you, but if you don't move, he's going to bump into you, and something terrible is going to happen after that.
Okay. I will step aside.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see down through the trapdoor.
Easily enough, you look down through the trap door, and it is just, this whole tower is just a hollowed-out stone tower with a ladder, wooden ladder that's been bolted into the wall that you can climb up and down to get to the bell tower.
Okay. All right. So if I've got 1 minute, I'm gonna go down in there.
Okay. Climb down or jump down?
Jump down.
Do you have a way to
Slow
neutralize falling? Slow fall? Okay, gotcha.
Slow fall. Yeah. I
I
feel
was
like
about to
slow
say, you're
fall
gonna pull
should
a
also
Mario.
be-
Wah!
Yeah, slow fall. I also probably shouldn't make that much noise when I land.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So who's here on the second floor with me?
You land in a very small, tight little room, and the door to it opens inward, and right now it's open. When you poke your head out looking in the hallway, you see some activity. Some of the acolytes have woken up. You see Basil, the curate, who you've never met, but some people have spoken to him last session. He's standing in the open door of one room with his arms crossed, and you see he's wearing his sleeping cap, like one of those Ebenezer Scrooge-looking sleeping caps.
Yeah.
And he looks very, very upset. He looks very cross. And glancing around, you see 2 doors in this hallway that are not opened. Most of them are open, and the acolytes are kind of poking their heads out, seeing what's going on. Clearly, Basil sent one of the guys up the ladder to find out what's going on. But 2 of the rooms, one up at the left end of this tiny little hallway and one up at the right end, are both closed. Make a
Alright.
Whiz 10.
Okay. Oh.
That'll do it. That's fine.
Okay.
Just given what you know of the layout of where the bell tower is in relation to where the main gate is, if you were to turn right here, you would be headed towards the main gate, and you surmise that would be a stairwell down to the main floor.
Okay. But I don't necessarily want to go to the main floor because that's all given over to the church part.
Right. If you're looking to try to find Harper's room, your best bet would be the closed door at the left end of this hall.
Okay. what I'm going to do is stand some distance from that closed door,
Mm-hmm.
and thaumaturgy it open if it's unlocked.
And it is not. You try to thaumaturgy, and you hear the latch of the lock.
Oh, so it's locked. Okay.
It's locked.
Okay.
And I mean, the shaking of the lock was noticeable. Like, people saw it. And 5 or 6 seconds after that, the door gets thrown open. And Harmon, the man who came down to eat dinner with you tonight, is on the other side. He says, "What's the meaning of this?" The acolytes are just kind of looking at each other, like none of them touched the door. And he looks down the hall at Basil and, "Why was the bell rung? Who's trying to open this door?"
So
and
there's still one door closed there, right?
Looking down into the room where Harmon is, you see another door beyond that.
All right, I'll try and thaumaturgy that one open.
And that one is not locked. It opens up, and it opens up into another bedroom beyond the small antechamber that Harmon is standing in.
Okay. But probably people would notice that because thaumaturgy is not like a gentle opening.
Oh no, people definitely noticed it. Harmon definitely turned around and saw it. And he looks back. Says, "I believe the High Priest is under attack. Alert the guard." And he turns and he heads into that bedroom.
Okay,
And at this, some of the acolytes head down towards the other closed door, open it up, and start heading down the stairs.
I'm gonna run over to the door where Harmon just went into.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the High Priest? Is he in there?
How close do you get? Where do you... Right now you're standing in the doorway leading up to the tower. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna... In the doorway leading up to the... Okay, yeah, so I'll go down the hall.
Okay. Now, how far do you go? You go into the... When you go to the antechamber, there's 2 doors off of this chamber, and both of them are open. Looking to the left, you see a doorway that would have gone into Harmon's quarters, and then in front of you is what you surmise to be Harper's quarters.
Right, he's the one I'm interested in.
Yes, Harper.
The High Priest Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do I see when I look into that room?
I told you this was going to get stupid.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm prepared. Tell me how stupid this is.
You look on the walls of the bedroom in front of you.
Tigers?
And no. Harmon enters the room and turns to the left, just out of your view, and you start hearing some conversation. You hear Harper, "Huh? Is it? The bell is being rung?" And then you hear that kind of noise. On the wall you can see in front of you are 4 very large wooden wheels affixed to the wall. Each wheel has a number between 0 through 9.
What?
Okay. That's bizarre.
And to God, that's what you see.
All right. I take like probably a few seconds to take that in before running back down the hall and
Don't take too many seconds.
yeah, right, not too many seconds. So I run back down the hall and jump up through the trap door.
You can't, because by the time you get back, the gentleman who went up to investigate the bill is climbing back down. He's got the door closed and lashed up the top, and you would have to either wait for him to complete his descent, or you would have to knock him off the ladder. Where's the fairy
You've got
dragon
2
during all
minutes.
this?
Flying, like, on his shoulder.
So you got the fairy dragon is perched on Orphan right now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to waste that much time. I don't know how long it's going to take him to go down the ladder. So I'll leave the other way. I'll go out through the front, to the bottom through the front door.
Okay, and you get to the stairwell, and you manage to get down to the bottom floor without bumping into anybody, invisible as you are. And at this, you see the front door of the church is thrown open, and the gate has been open, and some of the acolytes are standing there talking to some city guards.
All right, I'm gonna run past them.
Okay.
And out the gate to around this way.
Okay. And you head out the gate, turn around the side of the fence, come up the side of the fence, and Eldove is standing there.
Eldove dismisses the fairy dragon.
Eldove doesn't know that they're there because they're invisible.
Eldove is looking through his hawk's eyes and seeing him approach himself.
Oh yeah, that's right. That must be disorienting. And the fairy dragon blinks out of existence. The invisibility spell ends.
I'll whisper to Elf. Come on, we probably don't have much time. We should get back to the inn.
All right, let's make our way back.
Okay.
And there's a fair amount of commotion on the street because this bell woke up a lot of people, and nobody's really knows what happened here. And you head back to the inn.
Yeah.
And
I don't
as you're
want to
coming,
be seen while we're heading back to the inn, so
What-
I'll cast invisibility on us both.
okay, Arik, when you arrive at the front of the church,
Yes.
some acolytes are standing there, along with Basil, the curate, and they're discussing this with some town guards as you're approaching up the road.
Town guards, huh?
Apparently, the bell rang randomly. Nobody in the church rang it. The culprit was not found. And then doors in the upstairs of the church, which you've been upstairs because you sat down in the meeting room with Harper. The door to the high priest's quarters was opened through some form of magic.
It's probably Osprey.
The high priest is fine. Nobody was injured. And they're doing a search of the church and the grounds now. And looking in the gate, you see the groundskeeper has his heavy crossbow, and he's limping around with great difficulty because he can't hold this crossbow and use his walking stick. But his eyes, he's watching the sky very intently, and he seems to be patrolling the area between the main church and the barn.
I look up towards the sky. I'm assuming I don't find anything.
Beautiful moonlit night.
I go over. I'm assuming they let me in without any issue. Like, I don't need to go, what's going on?
Well, I mean, you'd have to, when you approach the gate, I mean, Basil, sorry, brother, for woken you up. I'm not sure why the bell was rang.
I heard the bell and I had assumed the worst. Is everything alright?
They tell you, no, the Harper is still fine. They think there was a possible attempt on his life.
Really? That's
Distressing.
Says, we're not sure what happened. The bell rang out of nowhere, and then the door to the high priest's room was blown open as though through some magical wind.
And Arik knows that the people think that that the high priest is some sort of high-ranking assassin guy, right?
Arik knows that's not common knowledge. Only the members of the Guild of Shadows know that. Which Zook learned that, and then Zook imparted that onto Arik.
Okay.
But it's not common knowledge. Like there's not even rumors of it.
Right. I don't want to talk with them about that at all. No.
As far as gaining access to the church, I mean, if you give them a good reason why they should allow you in, I mean, they would allow you to help with the investigation, possibly, but you won't just have free reign over the grounds. No.
Yeah. Well, if they need any help, then they know where to find me. I'll be returning to the inn. But should they need someone, do they need an extra able body, then
They nod.
you just come find.
We'll be sure to let you know if we need anything. Again, sorry for the interruption.
I'm just glad everything is okay, and I'm making my way back to the inn.
Okay. What happens? What route did Eldove and the other guy take back, Orphan?
The quickest back to the thing, but we're invisible.
Okay.
Is the guy who I was playing cards with in the center of the inn still?
When you get back to the inn, there's nobody in the common room. It is very late at night.
Okay, yeah, we just head back to our rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Arik returns, and again, like I said, the common room is empty.
I start knocking on my allies' doors.
Okay. So you guys are in the room for just a moment. There's a rap on your door,
I'll open it up.
and Arik
Wait,
standing
whose
there.
door?
Orphan's.
Because I don't stay in the same room as Orphan.
Orphan's door was first. We'll
Orphan's door, yeah.
simplify it.
Arik, it's late at night. Can I do something for you?
Did you hear the bell?
I think everyone in town heard the bell.
Apparently, someone tried to attack the high priest.
What? Do you think it was the Assassin's Guild?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's horrible.
I think we should do something about this.
Well, yes, of course. What do you think we should do?
I haven't the foggiest. But if we are concerned that his life is in danger, we should make sure that he's under guard all time.
I'll nod to Arik and say, I'll come with you tomorrow, and we can go and tell the High Priest personally of our suspicions.
But he might be dead by tomorrow.
I say, oh, well, then do you think we should go now?
I do. I think we should gather everybody up, and we should make this our priority.
If you say so. I'll come outside with him.
Okay, do you send word to the ship for Khalil?
Yep.
Khalil!
Yo, I'm still trying to find anything. I'm going through the alchemist lab with a fine-tooth comb.
Do you knock on Eldove's door?
No.
One of the sailors, one of the sailing men, says, Khalil, there's been word. Arik needs you in town. There was apparently an attempt on the High Priest's life.
I'm just a magnet for bullshit today. That is literally what Khalil will. He will say that. Am I just a magnet for bullshit today? All right, where are they? Where am I going? What?
And they say that you can meet them there at the church. They're headed back there.
Okay.
And we'll knock on Eldove's door, too.
Keep looking through here and try to find something, anything that might have given us an indication of where he might have gone.
Okay.
And then I'll start jogging toward the church.
Alright, everybody's going to be at the church. Go ahead and move your standee up there. We can get rid of Tarin now. We don't need him anymore.
Wait, hold up. Eldove didn't open his door yet.
I guess Eldove's not going to the church then.
He doesn't get to play.
Do you guys leave me behind?
No, I banged on your door. I was like, we gotta get everybody. We gotta gather everybody
yeah,
up.
they said get everybody, but I mean, Eldove could just ignore them if they want.
Eldove wanders blearily out of bed. He says, do you have any idea what time it is? First the bell, and now this.
It's important, I swear.
God damn it, Eldove.
So you guys
What's
approach back to
important?
the church, and at this point, the gates are still open. The main doors of the church are closed, but there's activity inside, and one of the guards is off to the side, speaking with the groundskeeper. But they're standing too far away. You can't hear what they're talking about.
Only we had some sort of fairy dragon who could fly over there and hear them.
I try to wave for someone's attention, so they can try and let us in.
And eventually one of the acolytes notices you, and the door of the church opens, and Basil comes out and sees you all standing there. And he kind of looks over to you, Arik.
Basil, listen to me carefully. We believe that that
Do
the
you start
Assassin's
giggling
Guild.
halfway through his message, Orphan?
No. No, this is all out of character giggling.
We believe we may have an
Maybe
idea.
Maybe I
On
should
who-
roll a will save.
We have an idea as to whom might be who might be going after the High Priest.
And at that, Basil, I mean, he looks very concerned. He says, you should come inside quickly. Says, Harmon is awake. He's already spoken to the guards. We've done a search of the grounds, and they lead you inside to the church. Into the main chamber. He says, wait here, I'll go upstairs and fetch Harmon. And he disappears behind the door. About a minute later, he comes back down with Harmon, and Harmon sees you all standing there. He says, Brother Arik, you've brought your companions.
Yes.
So we've done a search. We've done a search of the grounds and found nobody. Says, but our groundskeeper Lothar saw something very curious just before the bell went off. Says he swears
What
he
did
saw
he see?
a golden dragon with butterfly
Wait.
wings. About the size
Now, wait
of
a second.
about the size of a large bird.
Now wait a second. This was very high up, and Lothar is a human.
That's right.
So this has to be a really sparkly golden dragon. I just want to write this down for future knowledge.
And he says, and we confirmed with Lothar what he thinks he saw. Perhaps it was a bat or a bird, but he's almost certain it was a fairy dragon. He loosed a bolt at it, but in his advanced age and state of agitation, he was not able to hit it, and he hasn't seen it since. After that, the bell went off, and the doors inside of the church began to open. Says nothing strange has happened since.
A fairy dragon, you say? I would assume that hearing the words fairy dragon, it all sort of starts clicking in my head.
I don't know if Arik knows about Eldove's familiar or not. I don't know how...
He has seen the familiar exactly once when we were hunting the octopus.
Okay, then yeah, you remember seeing a small golden fairy dragon with butterfly wings when Eldove out on the boat fighting the octopus.
All right.
Did he see Eldove summon it into existence, or I forget the circumstance in
If
which
we
Arik
were
saw
all in that tiny ass little boat, then yeah, you probably would have.
He saw it appear in the distance because it was like it never had to come back to me to talk. So he saw it flying around about 100 feet away.
Okay, well, let's not mince words. Eldove was using this fairy dragon to scout the octopus.
Right.
I mean, you remember this very clearly.
Yeah.
I don't recall Eldove ever trying to make a secret about it.
No, it wasn't a secret. I'm just saying, like, it's not like it flew to my ear and whispered nothings in my ear.
Like, in addition to that, you turn and look at Eldove, and he's just kind of looking upwards, just whistling nonchalantly.
Now hold on here.
And
I
then-
have a +9 for deception. Eldove is stone-faced.
Also, I know we have a perchant on casting invisible on things to make things happen,
So
and so we can't. All of a sudden, we can't like.
it is not a stretch of the imagination
Yeah.
at all.
So yeah, Arik is like, we think the Assassin's Guild in town just tried to have made an attack on the High Priest.
And
Eldove kind of looks over to the upper right while he's saying that, and he says, maybe we should go see what that groundskeeper has to say. He was awfully spry for someone who as injured as he is.
Hey, Nodal, stop playing with my superiority dice.
at the mention of the Assassin's Guild, I mean, Harmon kind of poo-poos the idea. Like, well, first of all, the Assassin's Guild is just a rumor. It's just a fairy tale. It's like, well, what evidence is there that such a guild exists, let alone would have designs on killing the High Priest?
So wait, you're willing to believe that an assassin came to kill the High Priest, but not that an Assassin's Guild came to kill the High Priest?
He says, we don't know what came to kill the High Priest. We don't even know if the High Priest's life was in any danger. There's very little information to go on. He says, Harper seems to be fine, and if there was any danger, it seems to be past now. We're just trying to figure out what happened.
Probably a ghost.
You don't think that whatever it was that did these things might still be lurking somewhere on the grounds?
It probably is somewhere
I'm
on the
sure
grounds,
they
yeah. You're right.
Harmon shakes his head and says, we've done a thorough search with undead and magic detecting gear. Come up with nothing. If it was a ghost, it's the most stealthy ghost we've ever seen. We would be able to deal with that.
Tricorder and everything.
I turn my head to Eldove and I say, I don't know, couldn't have been too stealthy.
Eldove says, I don't know, it didn't get caught. Must have been pretty stealthy.
And Harmon looks back and forth between the two of you. Says, is there something we should know?
Eldove says, we've been arguing about whether or not an Assassin's Guild could exist in the town.
Exactly.
I personally think it's believable.
And Harmon says, well, If it's believable, hopefully this isn't related.
Again, and Khalil is just standing there, like, really? Somebody stole our stuff off the ship, and you guys are bickering about who's wanting to assassinate an old guy.
What?
Does Khalil say that?
Or is he just acting like that?
He's acting like that for the minute,
Okay.
for the moment. He's not going to interrupt your conversation while...
So, what are you guys actually seeking to do here?
It's all on Arik, really.
Yeah, this is Eric's show.
Okay.
Well,
Eldove wants to go to bed.
Yeah, pretty much. Orphan's not too interested in solving this mystery.
Mystery solved. Bonus EXP given.
Yeah.
I think it would be prudent if we all took turns standing guard in front of the High Priest's door, making sure that absolutely nothing can get in.
Eldove says, I tell you what, we'll start with you, champ.
Harmon holds up his hands.
I believe you should go first.
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry.
Harmon
Very
holds up
busy
his
day
hands
training
and
today.
says, "There's no need for that. So we're bringing on some guards from the City Watch. We'll have the grounds taken care of." Says, "I appreciate your concern, but we think things are well in hand now."
Are you absolutely 100% sure?
What's everybody's passive perception? Actually,
it's
you
something
all
like-
are inside the building, so never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Arik. What were you saying?
Are you 100% absolutely sure that we cannot be of any assistance in terms of guarding the High Priest?
Eldove turns around, he is tired, and he is leaving.
Well, if you're that concerned, brother, I mean, we would be happy to put you up here at the church if you'd like to stand vigil.
I would love to stand vigil, thank you. I recommend that we all take turns, but I definitely won't force anyone else to do such a thing.
Oh, Eldove already left the room.
Eldove's,
dude.
Eldove's gone already.
Yeah, I figured.
Khalil will be like, alright, no. There's a very important matter at the ship that demands my attention right now, and I cannot believe you pulled me away from this for this.
What's going on at the ship that's so
Somebody
important?
stole the keg.
What?
What?
And Harmon says,
Wait.
"You mean the wine?"
No, not the wine.
Wait, the wine's not on the ship, right? Because I thought we agreed that you were going to deliver it when I was about to leave.
That's you're not there. Don't worry about it. You
Oh,
left.
I got out? Okay,
You turned and
sweet.
left.
Yeah, you're gone.
No,
Yeah.
nobody stood in your way. You're fine.
Alright.
Although Eldove, when you walked out of the door, the groundskeeper, and he's not making any effort to hide himself, he's standing just outside the main doors of the church, and he watches you as you leave, and you can tell he's been listening to the conversation that's happening inside.
Eldove waves.
And he spits tobacco on the ground because he's a jerk. So Harmon says, "It sounds like you have more important business to attend to. We wouldn't want to put anybody out." Says Arik, we'll be happy to put you up here in the church if you like, but I appreciate everybody's concern.
I think I should go tend to what's going on our ship.
Norman nods and he says, "Well, fair enough. Again, we thank you for all the help you've already given us."
Yes, of course, and I, as nonchalantly as humanly possible, I start sprinting back to the ship.
Okay. Where does Orphan go?
Orphan goes back to the inn. She
And-
doesn't know much about this powder and doesn't really care that much.
And where does Khalil go?
Khalil goes right back to the ship.
Okay.
He's got to find something here. Some kind of
Investigating the ship is not going to turn up anything. You already got like a
Yeah.
24
Sure.
on your investigation roll, and you got nothing.
Yeah.
There is nothing.
All right, we need to find where this thing went and where Evander went, like immediately.
All right. Yes or no question. Eldove, bed.
Yes.
Orphan, bed.
Yes.
Arik, bed.
Yes.
Khalil, bed.
God, he doesn't want to, but yes.
Okay. Next morning, there is some commotion in the town.
No, you don't say.
Even before breakfast in the morning, just before sunup, there was a commotion where very noisily and very swiftly, Abraham, owner of the inn, apparently got on the back of a horse and rode very noisily down the road out of town. And very abruptly. And once word got out that he was leaving, several of the city guards chased him on horseback. So by the time you all wake up, that news is already hitting town. Abraham, apropos of nothing, got on a horse and rode wildly out of town. And by the time anybody knew what was happening, members of the city watch were sent after him to chase him down.
Playing the jurisdiction, not a good idea.
So it is now Thursday morning, yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eldove and Orphan.
Mm-hmm.
Go down for the morning meal, and the feeling in the inn is very strange. Glammy is behind the bar. He has just woken up and he's starting to get things into order. Reali, the barmaid, is setting to work back in the kitchen, preparing the morning meal, and it's a very strange feeling because, I mean, everybody knows Abraham is gone. Everybody knows he just took off like a bat out of hell. The two rangers are down for the morning meal. Wilfong and Basmar have not come down yet. And you see the three boys who work in the inn. One of them that you know is Falpier, and when you two come down, he keeps looking up at you. And every time he notices you see him, he quickly averts his gaze and goes back to what he was doing. And
okay.
Yeah, this happens several times over the course of the morning, and eventually the meal comes out, and the food is brought to your table.
No, it doesn't. It happens twice, and then Eldove walks over and says, "Falpier."
And
Is there something the matter?
as you approach him, he quickly stops what he's doing, drops the rag he was using on the ground, and runs back into the kitchen.
Oh,
He
that's
probably
odd.
told him not to talk to you.
Glammy, the barkeep, notices that and kind of stands up and looks at you, and he has this look on his face, like very suspicious. Like, what is this elf doing with this small boy?
Eldove walks over to Glammy.
Are you a boy diddler, sir?
Eldove walks over to Glammy and he says, "Do you know what's up with your kitchen boy over there? I noticed him looking over at me and my companion a couple times during breakfast."
He looks at you and he says, "Maybe he thinks you're pretty."
Well, I mean, obviously, but
Wow.
I didn't notice you looking over at our table.
He says, "I don't know what's gotten into him. Says, we've all been a
Maybe
little on
you-
edge this morning since Abraham disappeared."
Yeah, crazy that. I never would have took him for someone who'd run.
Khalil and the other guy up at the ship.
Arik.
What are your designs for morning action? Like, are you going back to the inn? Are you going back to the church?
I gotta go back to the church and repent, because I just fucking lied to my high priest.
No. You lied to the curate. That's a little different.
Fine. Still,
Khalil will.
I gotta do some repenting.
What was
Okay.
the captain of the guard's name?
SQ.
Askew, that's right. Khalil would be heading up toward that direction to find Askew because he's still concerned about this powder.
Okay, so you're headed back up to the keep, and you're going to ask after SQ.
Yes.
And Arik is going to go to the church. Okay, we're going to deal with the inn first, then we will do the other two.
Wait. I have a question too.
Okay.
Do you two eat breakfast at any point?
They have provisions on the ship if they want to eat. I mean, they have the mess there.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, Eldove sends I don't know, pays one of the boys or something to go run over to the ship and tell the two of them that he wants to talk with them.
Okay. Then yeah, but before you leave the ship for your morning routine, you receive a messenger up at the ship that Eldove wants to speak with you.
All right.
Oh, okay, but be kind of mad at Eldove, but sure.
Yeah, both of us will be walking.
Should have
and
let me
looking
repent
really annoyed.
first. I might have been in a better mood, but okay.
So Arik shows up and he's in a bad mood, and Khalil shows up and he's always in a bad mood. So the four of you are down in the chamber or the main room of the inn.
Aldo's in a great mood. And he says, "So guys, guess what? Caught an assassin last night."
Did you?
Really? Was it the assassin going after the high priest?
Well, I don't know what he's doing at the church personally, but that groundskeeper sure doesn't have a limp.
That's very circumstantial evidence to go on. Just some man is faking an injury. It is suspicious, no doubt, but hardly a reason to accuse someone of, killing a king.
I didn't accuse someone of killing a king. I accused him of being an assassin. But the man tossed down his walking stick, jogged a good 50 feet, and then took a difficult shot against this creature in the air.
And he only missed very narrowly. He almost had you.
I would say that is a little bit more than circumstantial evidence.
Okay. But anyway, on to other pressing issues of the day, if I may continue.
Wait, so that's it? Just okay. Like, you're accepting that the man is an assassin, but you have nothing else to say about this.
Well, I have things to say about it, but right now, as I said, there are other pressing issues right now that are kind of gotten my skin riled up, if you don't mind. May I continue?
What could possibly be more important than this?
Evander and the keg he was looking into are both gone.
Wait, what?
Evander's gone?
Yes. It happened last night. I went back to the ship, and all hell had broken loose.
Well, did anyone see him leave?
No, that's just the thing. It's weird.
So you think he was kidnapped?
Is there a large hole in the ship?
No, there's not a large hole in the ship.
Was all of his stuff gone, or just the keg?
I spent a couple of hours investigating after this, so is it all of his stuff, or was it just the keg and him?
The keg is gone, Evander is gone. All of Evander's personal effects are still there, the alchemy lab is still intact.
What about Evander's money?
Evander didn't have much money, from what you understood.
Evander was being paid by fucking Tarin. He probably had like 30,000 gold.
No, the only things missing are the man and the powder.
Alright, so that's why I tend to suspect kidnapping, but I'm not going to make a solid determination until I have more evidence.
I would certainly suggest kidnapping, considering that some of those alchemy ingredients are worth a great deal of money.
Indeed, but those ingredients weren't taken. The only thing that was taken was that keg.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If he was to just take the keg and run, he'd probably at least load up on our pearls.
I bet it was the captain.
You know, he does like to sneak off to interdimensional spaces.
What? What?
Wait, are we talking about Basmar or Tarin?
Tarin.
Basmar. I'm talking about Basmar.
I'm talking about Tarin.
I was going to say, why would Tarin kidnap his own alchemist?
I would also just call him Tarin, but no.
Well, you said the captain, you didn't say the captain.
Oh, so I spit after I say the captain.
Okay, and Orphan honestly, I wouldn't put much past that.
At this point,
captain.
While you guys are discussing the captain, the door to the inn bursts open. Several guards walk in, led by Sangster, the lead, the main fighter. Sangster regards the room. You see Glammy stops what he's doing and looks up at the guards, and Glammy always kind of looks suspicious on his face. But Sangster says, he holds up a scroll in his hand that's rolled up. He says, I have here an arrest for Abraham. An arrest warrant, not an arrest. That was stupid. You can't hold an arrest in your hand. I have here a warrant for the arrest of Abraham.
Well, there's a magic card called Arrest.
It says, if anybody here knows of the whereabouts of this man, there is a reward for the information.
We're out of town on a horse early in the morning.
Pay up. Don't say that.
Seriously?
Don't say that.
I don't say what I just said.
Does Eldove?
Probably not, but he will say, I heard he rode on a horse early in the morning.
And Sangster responds, yes, we know. We have our men trying to ride him down. He looks over at Glammy and says, if there's anything you can do to make our job easier, we'll make it worth your while. And he's paying close attention to the barmaid and Glammy the barkeep and the two boys who are still in the room. Falpiers ran back into the kitchen, but the two other boys are still in the room. And the two rangers are in the room, and Wilfong has started to come down the stairs for the morning meal. And Sangster looks at all of them in turn. Says, and if we come to find out that any of you are hiding information as to where he went, says the punishment will outweigh the reward you stand to gain. And then he turns to the side and he puts this scroll and he rolls it out on the wall. One of the other guards walks up and bangs a nail into the top and bottom of it. And it's just
That's just rude.
A bill posting for the reward of information for the whereabouts of Abraham, who is now a wanted criminal. And then Sangster regards the room one more time and says, that is all. And he and his guards walk out. The door closes. In a few minutes, or a few seconds pass. Glammy curses something under his breath, and he slams the rag down on the table and comes around the bar. With his good arm, he reaches up at the bill and tears it down off the wall. Crumples it up.
Was he cursing in Primordial?
He was cursing in Common.
Okay.
No, there are no curses in Primordial. Primordial is the most polite language in the world. So you guys,
I've heard those earth elementals talk about those water elementals, and whew.
You guys were talking about some dumb shit that happened on your ship. You can resume that. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I don't know if it was dumb shit. We just lost a giant keg of fucking gunpowder.
Also Evander.
Yeah.
Also, a
No
man's
one
life hangs in the balance.
No
Right.
one cares about Evander.
No one cares about the keg.
Yeah, I don't really care about the keg. I already know how to make more of it.
I say, well, you're a trained investigator, aren't you? Did you find any clues where he might have gone?
Not a one. There's no evidence left on the ship as to where it might have happened to him. The only thing I can think of, like I said, is possibly kidnapping. Because nothing, and whoever. But if he was kidnapped, then whoever it was very specific. They came for the gunpowder,
The dragon powder.
the dragon powder, and Evander, and that's it. Nothing else was taken.
Well, that's a lot to deal with. First Evander, and now there's all this assassination business.
Also, straight up, there's an assassin at the church. Like, FYI. You'd think you would care about that, considering you're a priest at the church, but, whatever.
Who is it who learned about the? Who is it who was told about the gnome at the castle?
I was, and
Oh, okay.
the gnome's name is Brickroad.
Rogan.
Nove's name is Brick Road.
Abraham told you that before he disappeared.
What was it? Arvin?
Rogan.
Rogan.
Arvin,
that's right.
Arvin's your cook.
Well, he sucks, so.
He doesn't like elves, it's true.
Destil just tweeted a picture of his D&D books. in
What
his
a
trunk.
nerd.
Like, just dumped
Nerds.
into his trunk.
So what else is happening this morning?
I'm going back to the church.